Yesterday regarding part 1 that a person should not try to compare and contrast. He shouldn't complain. He shouldn't say, why do I have this type of nature? Why do I have this kind of character traits? Everything was given to a person in order for him to be able to perfect himself in this world, in order to be able to, with the midot, with the character traits that he has, he was given them to him. Why? Because this is the way he's going to be able to better serve Hashem. So we're actually continuing from what we were saying yesterday. So in the Sefer Shapi Paul Tzadik in Perek Aleph in page 17, he continues and he says like this, page 18, Rabotai. We did page 17 yesterday. He says, Ula'achar kol zeh, and after all this, Le'olam asur lo la'adam l'she'ol madu yesh li teva ploni. Always, he says, it's forbidden for a person to ask, why do I have a certain type of nature? Person's not like, why am I hot-tempered? Why am I passive? Why am I, reactive? A person should not ask, why am I different than my friends? Why? Because every single person that comes to this world, he comes for a different test. Everybody has their own baggage, like they say. And he comes for a different type of work. The reason why a person has his midot, the character trait, and the reason why he behaves a certain way, that's only because this is the way Hashem put you in here in order for you to be able to fulfill your mission. A lot of times a person thinks he has, for example, a person is pretty loud. A lot of people don't like people that are loud. Beseder, I understand that, no problem. But Rabotai doesn't mean that now the person that is loud, now he has to start quieting down. No, Rabotai. If he's loud, for example, he always yells, always argues, stop that and use that loudness for Torah. To learn Torah with all your limbs and everything, with like the Gemara brings down, you have to learn with all your 248 limbs, 365 sinus. You have to be able to be fully there learning Torah, correct? So what? You're going to tell me now, no, be quiet. No, you have to be loud. Change your nature, Rabotai. The point is not to change your nature. The point is to direct your nature to serve Hashem. There's a reason why you have that nature. Certain people, they're really quick. They can't sit in one place. They'll learn an hour in the morning, an hour at night, but they can't sit in one place. But you know what they do throughout the day, Mr. Isaac? If you're going to tell them now, sit and learn all day, the problem is they can't. Because they're very quick. They don't have that patience to sit. But if they're going to be able to use that quickness for Avodah Hashem, mitzvot, tzedakah, help this, help that, you understand? Don't try to nullify your midot. Don't try to nullify your character traits. On the other hand, try to direct them towards Avodah Hashem. That's what he's telling you over here. V'yesh od lilmod b'sifrei musar. Also, a person should try to learn on the ethical books. Al shevach ha'yisurim v'anisyonot sheba'im ladam. On the praise, that suffering and tests that come to a person. Sherak mizeh yizkel olam haba. Because only through this, by learning ethical books, a person is going to be able to merit olam haba. וצריך שידע שכל זה שי גם לנפילות והניסיונות של ימי הבחרות בעניינים הרוחניים. Rabotai, this doesn't only apply to materialistic world, it also applies to when you're dealing with spirituality. A lot of times a person does not have that cheshik. He doesn't have that desire to wake up in the morning and learn daven. He doesn't have the desire to learn Torah. Rabotai. These are one of the downfalls. These, not downfall meaning, these are one of, how they say the road goes? It's always a bumpy road. Hashem wants to test you. Are you going to be upset with him now or not? The fact that you cannot learn now, are you going to be upset with him or not? If you're going to say, I'm not upset with you, I'm going to have to understand that this is what Hashem wants from me now, and I'm going to try to utilize to the best of my ability. You accomplish much more than had you been much more happy. Right, like the Chazal tell us, Lefum to our agro. A person can learn one daf of Gemara, 45 minutes, 1 hour, let's say, with Rashi, for example. Another person is going to take him maybe 2 weeks. Rabotai, who got the higher schar? The person that took 2 weeks. Why? According to the pain is the gain. That's what he's trying to tell us over here, Rabotai. Even when a person falls, he should know that is the process of him actually growing. That's what this book is called, Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam. 7 times the tzaddik is going to fall and he's going to get up, but only 7 times, Rabotai. I know a lot of times people are going to just continue, chas v'shalom. No. A person falls, your job is to try to get back on your feet and not to try to delve, how come I fell? That's not going to help you. Rabbi said, today I want to just show you, this is what I wanted to really show you yesterday. Why Isurim come on people? Rabotai, is there such a thing that people are without Isurim? Everybody has Isurim, everybody has sufferings. Do you have people that don't have sufferings? Rabotai, look what he says over here. Ubibijush Rabbi in Pasha Miketz, in Peish Tadik Bet, he says like this: Amar Rebbe al Chasandri, En lecha adam below Yisurim. You do not have a person in this world without suffering. Everybody suffers some type of way. Asharav le'adam she'yisurim ba'im alav min ha'Torah. Praiseworthy is the person that his suffering comes from words of Torah, from the Torah. What does that mean? V'hainu shelechol echad v'echad yesh isurim ba'olam. That means to say, Rabotai, every single person has sufferings in this world. Nobody's going to run away from sufferings. However, he says, "Umi shezacha she'isurim halalu hem alidei divrei Torah vadai shezo zechut atzuma." But if you have a person that his isurim are coming through words of Torah by learning, and he's suffering, you show that this is a great merit, Rabotai. To sit and learn and you're suffering, you should know that this is one of the biggest merits. U'kemo shekatav ha-Stipler, Rabotai, Rav Chaim Kanievsky's father, the Stipler, what he wrote, Bebirkas Perisham, Shahayegei Batorah, Rabotai, listen to this carefully. When a person is studying in Torah, not listening to a lecture, Rabotai, no, one look at another, sushi, what do you call that? Seeds, pistachios. A person has to be mamish, what do you call it? Oisi, has to be mamish working, as if he's doing a heart surgery. Shahayegei Batorah, Rabotai, when a person is toiling in Torah, Bizman she'en lo cheshek v'raton, no desire, no will, he's tired, he's exhausted, a bad day from work, whatever the situation might be. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. Pishita shekol Elohem yisurim shel Torah. You should know that these are sufferings of Torah. 1 second, what does that mean? Because he's going to continue to say now, Rabotai, the suffering was supposed to come on you through different avenues. Money lo leinu chas v'shalom, health chas v'shalom, wife lo leinu, different avenues. But you decided to do what? To learn Torah when you didn't want to? You're erasing those isurim, Rabotai. Look what he says. Ubebedin shamayla, in the upper bed in Shamayim, lochim becheshbon otam isurim. They're going to take into calculation the suffering that you're going through now by learning when you don't want to learn. Uminakim lo me'asurim shetichim lavo alav. And they're going to clean you from sufferings that is supposed to come upon you. Can you imagine? People, no, mashallah bias, my wife does that. Rabotai, believe me. If a wife knew what it means for a husband to learn Torah, I'm telling you, Amelia Shlita says, she wouldn't allow him to go to work, Rabotai. It's just, unfortunately, not everybody knows the gem, the value of what it means that when a husband sits and learns Torah. Rabotai, you always have to understand. Unfortunately, I come across these cases many times. Why so much shalom bayit, Rabotai? Too much with each other. Husband, wife, too much with each other. Go away, 4 or 5 days, go away. Too much Rabotai. The husband comes home, couch potatoes, sits on the TV, whatever, on the couch, opens the TV, bring me this, bring me that, do this, do that, bring me that. Rabotai, what? She's your slave. Come to shul, do it, learn Torah. You have coffee, you have food. Over here, everything you have, Rabotai. You don't have to make your wife's life miserable, Rabotai. Come to shul and learn Torah. This is the benefit, Rabotai, of having a husband that is a Talmid Chacham. Everybody can become it. It's not a chiddush. Rabbi Akiva became at the age of 40. Everybody could become it. The question is, do we have that will? Do we have that driving force to try to do it? And not give ourselves excuses, my wife. The best part about it, Rabotai, is when it comes to Torah, mitzvot, my wife. When it comes to Atlantic City, Las Vegas, doing bar mitzvah parties, weddings, with chas v'sham, with girls dancing, the husband makes a decision. What happened to your wife? Your wife says not allowed. No. I make the decisions. Rabotai, we're lying to ourselves. Rabotai, he says we're like this. He says, V'chen hu b'Yalkut Shimoni. So to brought down the Yalkut Shimoni. Amar Rabbi Bizna. Rabbi Bizna said, En adam ba'olam lelo yisurim. You don't have a person that has no yisurim. You look at the other person, man, he's living a good life, Rabotai. Only if you knew what goes on in his house, you would say, stay there. Don't bring it to me, Rabotai. Listen to this carefully, Rabotai. Choshesh b'shino enu yachol lishon. A person has a toothache. Can he sleep? Rabotai, you know what toothaches are one of the biggest pains? Everything affects. You can't function. You can't sleep. But you know, a person's eyes hurt. En yachol lishon. He's not able to sleep. Yageya b'Torah enu yashen. A person who's learning Torah also he's not sleeping. Listen to this carefully, Rabotai. Ve'ashrav, and praiseworthy. Lemi shelo yashem b'gilal haTorah. We go home, we go to sleep, Rabotai. Right now you come over here at this late time at 9:28. We come and you learn Torah. You could be at home watching Lo Leinu. You could be sleeping chas v'shalom, correct? But you come and you break yourself, you kill yourself, Rabotai. He says praiseworthy is the one that is not sleeping because he wants to learn Torah. Why? Why do you care? כדי שלא יסרח לו לישון מכאב שינו או עינו. You know why? Right now, because you're taking away from your sleep by learning Torah. Hashem has to now say it. I was supposed to give you a toothache where you couldn't sleep. I was supposed to give you eye pain. You couldn't. I was supposed to give you other sicknesses. You couldn't sleep. But what did you just do? You just outdid the whole system. You came and you learned Torah. You didn't sleep. Hashem says, "L'may nafkiminu," to me how he doesn't sleep. Now he's not sleeping. So this is why it's so important to learn Torah, Rabotai. You are mamish, I don't want to say like coming from the back door and you're forgetting about all the Yisurim. וכיוצא בזה רבותיי, כתב הגאון רבי חיים מוולוזן, שלכל אחד בסוף יגיע ייסורים. רבותיי, in the end, everybody's going to get sufferings. ומי שחכם, רבותיי, סמרו שזה חכם, מקבל מעצמו ייסורים על ידי עסק התורה. Accept upon yourself sufferings through toiling in Torah. You don't understand Pshat in Rashi. What's the Pshat? You don't understand this one. You call the rabbi. You find out this. You look up another book. You look up another book. Rabotai, you have to mamish be oisik. Not one like another and listen and pizza and sushi and whatever the rabbi says. Rabotai, this is called learning Torah. You have two types of learning Torah. I'll put it to you like this, Rabotai. When I used to watch sports, I used to be a very big fan of football. When I used to watch sports, Rabotai, put it to you like this. You have people that are on the sideline and you have people that play the game, Rabotai. I never liked being on the sideline. There's a reason why I went to St. John's to be a quarterback. I never liked being on the sideline. You always want to play the game, Rabotai. This is what we have learned Torah. You have two types of people that learn Torah. They watch versus people that actually play the game. When you play the game, the sachar is 1,000,000 times greater, Rabotai. That's what the Rav Chaim Igal says. Every single person is going to get Yisurim, but somebody who's a Chacham, Rabotai, what he's going to do? Learn Torah, and by this you're going to be able to take away your other sufferings. By you learning Torah, Gam lo yavo alav Yisurim. The Yisurim won't come. Because right now you're suffering. You want to sleep, but you can't. And you're learning and you're troubling yourself. Rabotai, that is the Yisurim. V'gam Rabotai, and also, Yiskeh sha'Yisurim atzmam nechshavim lo lemitzvah. Also this Yisurim are going to consider for you to be a mitzvah. Masech Berachot Daf Amud Aleph katav Hamareh Kohen, shehalomel balayla, Rabotai, 2 minutes. Shehalomel balayla, anybody who learns Torah at night, u'minaded shena melav, he keeps sleep away from his eyes. He wants to sleep, he's tired, Rabotai, but he learns Torah and he keeps sleep away. Vadai dinikre Yisurim. This is called Yisurim, Rabotai. U'bezchar zeh, and for this reward, yimunu mimenu ha'Yisurim acharim. They will hold back from you other types of suffering, Rabotai. Shugormim lo shelo lishon, that they could cause you not to sleep. I'll put it to you like this, Rabotai. There's much more, but we'll continue tomorrow. But in the bottom line of it, Rabotai, your option. You want to take away the Yisurim? Do it through learning Torah, Rabotai. Otherwise, it could come, Chas v'Shalom, financially, health-wise, Chas v'Shalom, from the children or from the wife, Rabotai. Therefore, a person has to be Chacham, like Rav Chaim Igal says, Mivolozin says, try to go ahead and learn Torah when it's hard for you, and this is the chud, other Yisurim you'll never get. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen ve'amen.